Hello guys, and welcome back to my tutorial videos. And today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a slopy terrain. And for example, I have this project of mine here that is supposed to be on a slopy terrain. It's a small house. Yeah, so the terrain is supposed to be seated on a slopy terrain. So here is the terrain, and I'm going to be making the slope. You see, for now it's flat and I want to make it slopy. So I hope you guys are going to follow and we are going to make the terrain. So for the slopy terrain, it's going to be sloping going this way. It's supposed to be, this is the highest point. It is going to be going this down like this. So let me just make sure you can see. Yeah, so for my terrain, this is how it's supposed to go. And then the building is going to be seated on the terrain while it's sloping. So to make a slopy terrain is going to be very interesting thing, because most of the terrains that we have in this everywhere are mostly not flat. So it's going to help you in modeling a realistic terrain for your project. So to model a terrain, you're going to use the spline tool. And first of all, you're supposed to have a contour map of how your slope or your terrain is sloping. But for me now, I don't have a contour map, and I'm going to be actually making a hypothetical slope, something that is just made out of my mind, and I just want to make the difference to be from the highest point to the lowest point to be, let's say, roughly a meter, 2 meters or a meter. So to do that, I just have to draw my spline tool so that they can mimic how the contours will be. And if you have a contour map, you have to actually trace it out using the same method I'm doing. But don't worry, because the process is just roughly the same, and we're just going to be looking at how we can actually make the terrain to slope. So let me start by just drawing some hypothetical contours of my terrain using the spline tool. So I'm just gonna draw it out. This is my first contour. Then I'm gonna draw another one, something almost similar. I want it to be a even slope. Yeah. Yes, so something like this. Make sure your contours are making sense. Yeah, so I know most of you have seen a contour map, and it looks roughly like something that I'm drawing here. So make sure if you have your own, you draft it out using you import the file and you draft it out on the ARCHICAD window. So for now, I'm just going to teach you how to make it a slope. So using any contour map. So I'm just gonna finish up my contours and make them as realistic as possible. So yeah, so something like this. You'll notice some points are usually more closer than the others, because that makes the place is sloping too much. So let me just continue drawing my line. Yeah, so I've seen this is how my slope is going to be, and this is how it's going to be sloping. It's going to be going downwards like this, and we're going to start by making the highest point, and then making it, we're going to slope downwards. So with that said, now we have our contours and we have our spline tools, in short. So I want to make these spline tools to be part of the site, and because you see the site is independent and the spline tool is independent, so I want to make it part of the site. So to do that, I'm actually going to select the site, and I'm going to select the site here and select the site in the mesh tool here, and then I'm going to use my magic wand to magic wand the spline tool. You can see with the tool, with the site itself selected and the mesh tool selected too. Just magic wand on your spline. So you just come and magic wand it where you want it to be. Yes, so press OK. And you're gonna magic wand again. Press OK. Press OK. Make sure it magic wands there. Yeah, and then press OK. Then magic wand again. Here, press OK. Magic wand here. Press OK with everything here. These ones are default, so you're going to press OK again. Hope you have seen what I've done. Yeah, press OK. Press OK. Magic wand here and press OK. And magic wand here and press OK. Magic wand and then press OK. To see what I've actually done, let's first go back to our site. Let me first select all the spline tools, all of it, and then I'll delete so that you can see this happens after I've already magic wand it and included it on the site. So this is going to be what is going to be coming out. So to add new points to add heights to my site, I'll have to now select each point independently and then select one of the nodes and select this elevation setting here, elevation mesh point. So with that done, I'm going to apply all the height to the whole line, and then I'm going to write the height of my site. So for example, let's say it's 2000 meters above sea level. Let me just make it okay, and then you'll see it starts forming a slope. So go to the next one and make it slope a little bit, maybe let's say 1800. Let me just slope by 200 as we go downwards. So next one maybe 1500. I'm just actually guessing this sloping, but I think you have seen the point. So 1500, let's say 1000. Actually goes like that, and if it doesn't match, you're just going to make it again. So 800. I'm just gonna slope it downwards. 800, let me say here to be 500. It's gonna be sloping like that. So the next one here is going to be 300. The next one here is going to be, let's say 200 or 200, and the next here going to be 200, and I will say 150. I just want it to slope now gently as you go to the end of our site. So it's going to be 100 to, let's say 80, or let's say 90, not 80, and 50, the last one. So this one's going to be 50. So yeah, with that done, now we see everything has all our slope is being formed, and then we can just we're going to confirm. You can see what I've done. Yeah, so with that done, you can see, let me just make the other points to be a bit realistic. This point here to be a bit realistic, here to be, let's say to be 200, 2000, I mean, let's say 2100 or 750 here, and then this one too. This one too to be 2050. These are the starting points of the slope, and then the ending points too, you make sure they make sense too. So these ones are going to be like 45. Let me just make them like that, and then this one to be 45 too, not 50, sure, 45. So that's pressed okay. Now you can go back to 3D, and you can see my slope has been formed with my, actually it's a very steep slope than what my building is on. So let me actually just, it's very steep for like the realistic slope that is actually the building, the site for the building. But let me drag it to here, and let's see how it's going to look like. So yeah, if you go to the 3D, you can see it's actually too slopey for my building, so let me actually drag it again. Make sure you just drag the side because the building has a lot of components, so yeah, drag the side upwards so that I can have a realistic slope for my building. Yeah, so let me just make sure it slopes like that, and then make it a bit like that. So yeah, so yeah, with that done, now you can see I can actually make a slope of my building. And to actually minus the site from the building, I'll just have to go to the ground floor. I'm going to select the whole site, and I'm going to select one of the nodes, and then I'm gonna press minus, and I'm just going to highlight the building slab. So that is what's going to be highlighted. So I'm gonna highlight the building slab, and then I'm going to just Control Z again. I just want to highlight the building slab itself only. So yeah, then I'm going to just come here and highlight the building slab. Yeah, that done. Now you can actually just drag the zones back to make this place a bit more easy. Yeah, so something here just to be yeah, so it's just as simple as that, just making a slope just easy. And hope you have learned. You can use the skills, the knowledge you have gained here to make your own slope in maybe a realistic contour map. So yeah, so let me just finish out and let's see how it's going to be. So yeah, so let's continue. Yeah, so if you got the 3D, you can see something like this is going to happen. But actually, let me just go back to the ground floor. I've not yet separated this part too, so minus, and I'm going to highlight this part too. Yeah, so 3D. Yeah, so something like this. So, but take note that this is not the exact slope, but hope you've got the sense of how you can make a slopey terrain just using the spline tool and your mesh tool. Yeah, that's how it is done. So thanks for watching.